Welcome back, everyone. Today is Sunday, right before Thanksgiving. Chilly one, too. It's only like 40 degrees, and the wind is blowing a little bit. We had frost yesterday, so it's not too bad today. I was able to... we had all four seasons yesterday. It went from almost snow on the ground to being about, well, it felt like 85 degrees in the sun yesterday. And luckily for that, I was able to get all the rafters. There's 12 rafters. I was able to get them all stained. My cousin was here the middle of to the end of last week, and he helped me stain a lot of this, and then I finished up yesterday. So there's 12 rafters. As I talked about before, there's 3 in between. They're 18.5 on center. Basically, I just took the dimension of what was left and broke it up evenly. This has 2x6 V-joint pine sheathing, so this way when the roofing gets nailed, you don't see the nails through. It's structural as well. It looks nice on the inside, and that is going to be stained clear, so it'll give accent to the rafters and to the beams. So there'll be a 1-foot overhang, so the sheathing will hang all the way over. And I'm going to the only thing I have left to do really is to install the rafters and then install the sheathing. And I'm not sure, I calculated it out, and it will weigh about 8,000 pounds, I believe. I think I figured it out with all the sheathing. I have to look up my calculations. I'll try to stick it in here at some point, but I'm not going to put it all on. I don't want to make this thing so heavy that I have to worry about the straps and all that. So I'm probably just going to get it started. I'll probably get the sheathing up to here somewhere. I don't know. We'll see how brave I am when I get to it. But the only other thing that I have to do before this gets lifted, and I don't know if I'll get it in for this video or not, but this end is going to get stained glass. 4 large panels there. It's about 35 square feet worth of stained glass, and we're going to have things that meant things to David in there, so I want to get that in. And these 2x4s are going to be for the frame. I'm going to put a frame all the way around, a split frame, so the glass, there'll actually be plate glass first and then the stained glass on the inside, so this way nothing can hit the stained glass and have to worry about it breaking if a bird hit it or something. So what I'm going to do with the 2x4 is I'm going to make the frame as a whole 2x4, and then I'm going to rip the 2 pieces out of it. So I'll have the outside frame as well as the inside frame, and I won't have to do them twice, meaning cut them and measure twice. So I wasn't able to stain those yet because I ran out of daylight yesterday and it's too chilly today. So I'm going to get to the rafters and the way they are going to go. As you know, these are 6x6s, these trusses, and I have 4x6s for the rafters. Now, in order to put a regular conventional bird's mouth to attach to the 8x8, I would have needed to get 4x8s like that ridges, and those were special order and hard to get. So I'm going to do them like this. So it'll be the 4x6 will run just like the rafter portion of that truss, and then I've got a 4x4 where I'm going to cut a 45 there, and then a 45 like a chamfer cut there just for looks, and that's how that's going to go. So, and these will be lagged in as well, both sides, and I've marked it up there. I have stained over them, but I took a utility knife and a square and I made the line, so at least I know where they go. All right, let's get to doing those. 12. All right, so we need 12 of these cut. I got them pre-stained, everything but the bottom. If I stained all the sides, I could have done this a little bit different, but this 4x4 is not straight. so I couldn't make one cut and get two and flip it over and use, if that makes any sense. I couldn't use the other bit because they're not straight, unfortunately. And I'm making these be set back just a little bit because that 8x8 is not even. It's not 8 inches everywhere. Some places are a little bit different. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all the blocks first and do the chamfer last on all of them. It'll be faster to do it that way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a stop block. I'll use one. That big enough? No. Let's see where it needs to go. Go. So let's just cut the 45, slide it to the block, cut it, move on to the All right, here's for cutting the chamfer. So I set up a block here. Let's push it up. This will make a lot of people nervous inside the danger zone. Well, you gotta pay attention. Breaks a little slow. This saw is probably, I've had it for 20-something years. Just about 20, I think. When it first came out, I saw it at a trade show. David was with me. He was, I don't know how old he was at the time. Forget exactly when it was, but our lumberyard took all the top 10 contractors that they had by bus. Did that. He had restaurant afterwards. It was a fun trip. I like Bosch tools. At least I used to. I don't have too much new stuff. That pony router is probably the newest Bosch tool that I have, and that's not that new. They last a long time. Like I said, the brake is wearing out. It seems takes a little longer to stop. All right, these aren't that heavy. Awkward. This would be easier with two people. Somebody hands it up to you, pushes that up to you, and just pushes pressure up against the bottom of the rafter. It's much easier instead of just pulling it. But I've got a block down the bottom, so I know what to push it up against. I've got the square up top clamped, so I know where it goes, and it goes flush with the top. And normally you would want to have bird's mouth because that assures that everything is straight down at the bottom. Now that ridge is a little bit crooked. It's got a little bit of a bow to it. I try to straighten it out as much as I could, but it's not 100% perfect. You'll never see it with the type of roofing I have. Oh, the inspector's coming. Hey Tiger. But I'm going to cut the tails. I'll snap a line at the end and cut these tails just to make sure that they're perfectly straight on the bottom. And like I said, you can't see it, and it's got a very big ridge. You'll see when I do the roof. It's not off by a lot, but it's off by probably 3/4 of an inch, so it's enough to bother me. So if I was doing it with bird's mouth, this would be a lot more difficult, but I'm not, so it won't. These are going with being held in with 8-inch headlock screws. I'm going to get started. The first one started. Go. That's one. The other one's I'll pre-drill. I'll get the bottom in place. That's good. We don't need that anymore. We'll put it over for the next one when I get there. Perfect. Perfectly flush. I'm going to go back and bolt all the rest of these once I get them where they got to go. These bottoms have to be pre-drilled. So here's the lagging process on the bottom. 12-inch lags, pre-drilled. In theory, these do not have to be pre-drilled, but in actuality, they do. And then I countersink them with a 5/8 bit, just a little. This way, if I have to take them out. Otherwise, if you sink them all the way down, you can never remove them. Plus, they don't always go down. So I'm gonna go up there and this is gonna go against here. It's clamped, don't slam it against it. And all you're gonna do is when I get it in place, you're just gonna like push it this way. You'll have to help me a little bit probably to pick it up. I've been sliding them up and I've been scratching it a little bit. Kind of hold it out and push in. Push in? When you say in? To me. Push towards you. Just hold that there. Just push down. Okay, that's full now. Matthew painted the wrong side. He didn't listen to me. He did the wrong side. And he had to do the right side. So a few of them have. Which made it more difficult for me because then I didn't know. I had to look at them again because they only go one way. They have to go the right way. Otherwise, it won't be good.
He doesn't care about all your saw and drill noises, but start up that Warrior and
Okay, you ready? Start going down because that makes that go up. Down. Okay. All right, so we got that side on, and normally you wouldn't put them all on one side. Normally I'll go to the middle of each one, put the middle one on one side, middle one on the other, fasten them. This way you don't move the ridge out of the way. Not as likely to do when you've got a 4x8 ridge, but this one I wanted to move. So the reason I put them all on one side is because when I said initially or earlier that the ridge had a little bit of a bend in it, it curved towards me, towards us right here. So I want these, and it did do it a little bit, to drive the middle of the ridge. Obviously it's not going to move the truss, but I was able to straighten it out a little bit by putting these 12-inch lags in down here. I was able to drive it just a little bit, just enough. So normally though, if you did this, you would want to oppose them as you went. Otherwise, especially on a 2x ridge, you would be moving them out of the way. All right, I just have to fasten these bottoms down, and then gonna get to the other side. All right, here's the other side, fastened a little bit differently. Basically the same. Just to get them started. Then they'll get 2 lags that will go straight in, and actually will connect in with the one on the other side. But for now, this will get it in. I've got to try to, some of these are not the greatest ones, as I said, that they delivered me. So I'm trying to, I saved some of them so that where you won't really see them. So that's what I'm trying to do here, is get them where they need to go. Not where they need to go, but where they can work. And not, they're not terrible. I wouldn't have picked them. Started. Get ready. Beautiful. All right, well, you get the idea. I'm that, and I'll put it back on when I get somewhere else. All right, here we are, end of day. Wendy helped me a little bit. Uncle Greg came by and helped me with the last two. As you saw, I switched over to this side. So it's not totally done. I still have more fastening to do up top. And I am probably going to put some collar ties right across those 6 rafters. 12 really, but the 6 pair. Probably going to do that as well. I'll feel better about that. So I still have a little bit more fastening to do down here as well. I did not have time. We had to move our ducts. We moved our ducks next to the house. 3 of them got killed. We don't know by what. Could be an alligator, could be a big snapping turtle, or could be the eagles, but I don't think it was the eagles because I was out here and one was taken in like an hour and I would have seen it because I was facing this direction. So I think it's either a big snapping turtle or an alligator. So I got to keep an eye out. So we moved them over here and we got to put their pool back in again, unfortunately. So I'm just putting tools away. I'll be back out here tomorrow. I'm going to do the rest of the fastening. I'm going to make the frame for the stained glass, and I am going to get these tails cut and ready for sheathing. And I'm going to start the sheathing because that's the last thing that has to go. So, all right, we'll pick up tomorrow where we left off today. All right, I just cut a few of the tails off. They were all pretty close, so I didn't have to worry too much about. I think I had to cut 4 of them, so not too bad. Put a string across, and then use a chalk line. I checked it with a string, but I measured same distance over there, same distance here, down from the ridge, so that this way everything will be parallel. And this is what the sheathing is going to be. I talked about it before, but it's 2x6 V-joint. It's V-joint pressure treated pine. So the V-joint part is going to go to the inside. So you'll see the V-joint when you look up inside. So it's going to look like this, except turned around from the top. So obviously the groove goes on the bottom, so you've got the rest on the top. And what you do is you use a block of the same material so you can tap it down, because you want these to be tight. You don't want a gap. You know, of course they say they guarantee it not to. Well, they don't guarantee it, but they say it won't shrink. Well, it'll shrink, and it doesn't matter. You'll never see it way up there. It's going to be high up, but you want to get it as good to start with as you can. So this would be the bottom, and this is the side that you will see as you're installing it. So what I'm going to do now is I've got the line snapped. I'm going to clamp. I'm going to start one up because I'm doing a 1-inch overhang over the tails. So I measured down 144 inches from the top because these are 12 foot, so that's 144. So I'm up 4 because it has a 5-inch reveal, so that will give me the 1-inch overhang. So what I will do is, these are also longer than they need to be. So I'm going to center these. As I said, we're going to have a 1-foot overhang on either side. So I will measure it. I will get the overhang. I'm not going to cut them. I'm going to cut them at the end, cut them straight, because a lot of times these are not all cut straight, and I haven't verified. I mean, they don't look too bad, but the lengths are usually never the same. So I'm going to, once they're all on, I will cut it all in one shot so it's nice and straight. And I'm going to start with the second one, get that one fastened in, and then continue up. And I'm only going to go probably to about here. Again, I don't know. I'll see how I feel. I'm just trying to keep the weight down, but I don't think it'll matter. But I haven't decided yet. But for this video purposes, I'm going to get up to about there, and then I'm going to wait until we lift it. So let me go ahead and get started on that. All right, like I said, here's the start of it. So I've got the overhang marked here from the truss. You can see it matches that. And I started it equally on both sides. Now, once you get it started, if it needs to go up or down in order to make it straight, then I can move it up or down from there. But they're pretty good. They look pretty straight. Camera never gives you a very good angle, but the middle will probably have to come down. Usually there's always a crown to these boards as well, which is a good thing. So, but you want to get the first one straight, because if you don't have the first one straight, if you leave the first one crooked, they're all going to be crooked. Because when you mash them together, then they're all going to be crooked. So you want to make sure the first one is perfectly straight. And then the other ones, it's pretty easy to do that afterwards. So, all right, I'm going to get these fastened. Like I said, there's only going to be about 6 of them, 6 or 8 of them, to get up to where I feel comfortable right now. And, but we'll see where I end up. You never know. I could have the whole thing done by the time I finish talking. And I'm going to tell you all, do not buy the new style Craftsman screwdrivers, because they are junk. This is the second one I broke. I literally just took it out of the package. Trying to straighten out the boards. I've done this forever. I've got a Stanley one that I usually use, that I've had for 30 years. And look at this. Hello. Don't buy me. Don't buy me. This is a Stanley screwdriver I've used for like 30-something years. And I just decided I'd buy some Craftsman ones. I hate to use the ones that David and I used to use. So I went and bought new ones. Well, nope. We got to get Old Faithful back out of the box and bring that other one back. Again, they will give you a new one. Takes you about 20 minutes, but they'll give you a new one. But what's the point if it breaks every time? All right, this will give you an idea. The ends, see, they're a little bit longer. They're not all the same. You can eyeball that. You'll see I got plenty to cut off, so it's not a problem. That's same on that side. So you cut a block, and I like to have it span 2 trusses or rafters. It'll make it, you know, against 2. You don't want to just be on 1, because that'll help force it down. So if you look, I haven't even screwed that in yet. Those are nice. And you can see these have to come down a little bit. And see, the very end's got a little twang to it. That's why, you know, you never know what it's going to do. And that's why you need that screwdriver. Because then what you do is you pry down, you put the screwdriver in here and pry it down. Pound it and pry it. That's why it's better if you have 2 people. These bottom ones I'm screwing into place. I am going to nail the rest of them with 16s. Just because it takes way too long to use the screws. But I am using the screws right now because, number one, I'm too lazy to bring out the air compressor and the hoses and the gun, because I'm not going to do very much. And number two, just in case you need to adjust anything on the bottom, you can take the screws out. So it looks like it'll probably be, I'll probably put 6 on, 6 or 7, and that'll be it. So I'll give you an update when I'm just about there, and give you a final whatever I'm doing. Figured I might as well show. So you get it put in place, you get the screwdriver pounded into the rafter, and hopefully you can see it. It's hard to see, it's so sunny out here I can't see, but you pull down on the screwdriver, and if you watch that gap, see, you can close it right up. So with a nail gun, you just bang bang bang, shoot it down. But with the screw, I got to get it started and pull down and hold it. Now, another trick for this is don't nail the top or screw the top until you put the other one in, because some of these, especially on these 4x, they're not even, or they're twisted, and if you pull it down too tightly, it's hard to get the next one in. So if you get the bottoms done and then wait till the next one, you get it down, And once it's banged down over the groove, then you're able to do it. You can do them both at the same time. Do the top of the previous one and the bottom of the one you are working on. So just a little tip for you. And just another shot. So this is, I put the next one on. See, they're all different, doesn't matter. We'll cut it straight off at the end. But you see the variation in the space, pretty high right there and not so high over there. So that's why you got to straighten them out. But once the first one's straight and you keep all of them straight, you're good to go. Makes it much easier. All right, well, here we are, and today I got 5 on each side. I could have put more, and I may put more, but they need to get stained on the inside face. The outside obviously doesn't matter, but the inside does, and I don't really want to do it over the bench area. So I got 5 on each side. They're ready to go, and as you can see, I got the 250 over here ready to go. Looks like she will be able to lift it high enough. I kind of checked it out a little bit. But we'll keep fingers crossed. I think it will. All right, well, I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and the next video will be, Chris is supposed to be coming the first weekend of December, and he's going to run the 250 and I am going to set it. So that should be the next video. So as usual, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one, and have a enjoyable and safe Thanksgiving.